Welcome to the Career Ladder video for Level 1 reviewers. This video will walk you through the process of approving or denying Career Ladder promotions. Let's answer a few questions before we get started. What job titles are part of the MMS Career Ladder module? Intermediate and Senior Maintenance Workers, Intermediate and Senior Bridge Maintenance Workers, Intermediate and Senior Signal and Lighting Technicians are all currently in MMS. Who will be a Level 1 reviewer? In most cases, the supervisor is the first level reviewer. The only time that will be different is if there are no supervisors for that org. Then it will be assigned to an assistant supervisor. HR also has the ability to assign someone else as a level 1 reviewer. This may be necessary if a supervisor is out on extended medical leave, for example. How many levels of review are there? By default, there are 3 levels of review, and then it goes to HR for the final review. The supervisory structures in each district will determine who does a level 1 through 3 reviews. HR can assign a 4th level of review if deemed necessary. Now that we have answered some initial questions, let's step through the level 1 review process. The first thing you'll notice is an alert icon on the Ladder License Leave module. The alert indicates that something needs your attention in the Ladder and/or Leave module. Now we are on the Ladder License and Leave landing page. You'll notice that the Career Ladder has an alert button on it, notifying you that there's something that needs attention in the Career Ladder module. Also, you'll notice messages in your queue with specifics on the alerts. Now let's do a quick overview of the Career Ladder grid. This grid is very similar to other grids within MMS. All columns can be sorted or filtered. We can also add customized columns by clicking on the Customize Columns button and simply dragging in an extra column into the grid and placing it where you want. You can also search for an employee's name by typing in a name in this box. Another thing to notice is that there's only 2 employees in this grid. An employee shows up in the grid by being 2 months away from their promotion eligibility date. Click the Show All button to see all employees in these Career Ladder titles regardless of their promotion eligibility date. You can export the grid to PDF or Excel. To look at an employee's career ladder, click the box beside the employee's name. You'll notice that activates the View and Report Forms buttons. Click the Report Form button and it will give you a PDF version that can be printed if needed. Once the box is selected beside the employee's name, click the View button to load Employee's Career Ladder checklist. The Level 1 reviewer is responsible for making sure the checklist has been filled out completely. Some of the requirements are completed by the system. The Level 1 reviewer is responsible for the remaining requirements. The top portion of the Career Ladder promotion checklist is filled out by the system. The system fills in the employee's name, district, years of service, and all the information specific to that employee. Note the reevaluation date is not populated on this example. That reevaluation date will be populated when an employee has had a disciplinary action. The system would populate the date to be 1 year from the last disciplinary action date. HR can also enter a reevaluation date for other reasons. For example, an employee is out on extended military leave or FMLA. It is the Level 1 reviewer's responsibility to go through each section and make sure the employee meets all required qualifications. If the employee has their high school diploma or GED, simply check the box. Also make sure that there's the correct amount of experience. You can check that box now. If you'll notice, the CDL has already been filled out by the system. We get that information directly from the Department of Revenue. Make sure that there is a valid CDL license that pertains to the job title and what the expiration date is. It also checks for restrictions and endorsements to make sure all requirements are met. A supervisor can enter a substitution or waiver if they choose, but that will have to be approved by HR. Simply click in the box and type in the necessary information. They can also add a course requirement if they choose, just by clicking on this button and then saving. This functionality is available in each of the sections. The second section is required for the supervisor to check off. Simply go down through here, make sure all of these requirements are met, and select the box if so. The third section is training and performance development. Notice the first one is already selected, so no disciplinary action of a written warning or hire in the last 12 months. The system looks at the HR database and knows whether that's the case or not, so that is checked automatically. A supervisor cannot check or uncheck that box. If this is not checked and there was a disciplinary action, there would be a date that says when the action was taken, and then the reevaluation date at the top would have been populated. If the employee meets or exceeds expectations, simply check the box. The system automatically checks these in Mo.U and makes sure that the employees have completed the courses for their job title. Reviewers cannot check or uncheck any training requirements with a Mo.U course code. You'll notice the boxes are already checked. The grid shows the course number and completion date. All required training have been completed for this employee. The next section is organizational support. These are all selectable by the supervisor when completed. And the last section is position or group specific knowledge. This is a combination of those that could be selected by the user or filled in by the system. You'll notice that a minimum of 12 are required for this career ladder checklist. The courses that have a course number and a completion date are filled in by the system. If it has a course number in front, the user cannot select those, but the system will check and populate those training courses. 6 courses for intermediates and 12 for seniors must be completed to be eligible for promotion. An employee or supervisor can initiate the promotion process. The employee does not have to. However, it's recommended that they go in frequently and check what is required and make sure they have all requirements met. An employee can only put in their comments and attach any supporting documentation. Maybe they had some training before coming to MoDOT. Then they can click the Certify button and submit to Level 1 Reviewer to start the promotion process. An employee does not have to do this, but they are encouraged to take responsibility for their promotion. In this case, the employee did not start it. The supervisor was the one that initiated the process, so there's nothing filled out by the employee. The Level 1 Reviewer must put in comments to approve or deny. So, you must have comments here regardless if you're approving or denying the promotion. Once you've put in your comment, you can certify that you want to approve it and then click the Approve button. Same thing if you want to deny it. You just simply click the Deny button. If you approve it, the system generates an email that will be sent to Level 2 Reviewer and HR. Then the Level 2 Reviewer goes through and does their review process and approves or denies the promotion. If you deny the checklist, it automatically goes to HR. It skips all other levels of reviewers. It's important to note that everyone can see the comments that are entered, so an employee can log back into their checklist and see what comments were entered by all reviewers, including HR. It's important that all comments are kept professional and to the point. Please contact your local HR office if you have any questions about the process.